Okay, welcome back. Shall we proceed?
Yes, sir.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are few people for whom the credit is exhausted. You can again go to the same link and activate another sandbox and try out the remaining samples that we are going to use here. I believe one or two features may not work over there because this is a limited kind of functionality that they have provided in this subscription, but you can still check. Whatever works, it just works. Okay, you have the link already for this, the one that we used in the morning. So here I have to switch back to my original subscription. Process is same. I'll just say switch directly. This is my original subscription. I'll say switch. And this is all the original stuff. Right? The next feature that we are going to talk about is event grid service that Azure offers. So first of all, we'll try to understand what exactly event grid actually is.
Baba, no cry, no cry.
So let's go to the whiteboard, and here we understand what is event grid. To understand that this to understand this in easy way, before actually talking about the event grid, we will talk about something which we use day in day out. Everyone is using electricity almost everywhere, right? In home, in office, if you go out, say in some restaurant or malls, right? Everywhere there is use of electricity. So we need to understand its production and distribution model. There are different powerhouses which actually build the electricity, right? Number of powerhouses. These can be wind turbine based. These can be solar energy based. These can be hydropower. These can be thermal power, nuclear, whatever type of power station. What is common between them? They all generate electricity. So can I say produce electricity? Yes? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Now just one question over here. Do you believe this electricity reaches you directly? I mean, whatever electricity generation is going on, the line which is coming to your house, it's a direct line from the powerhouse to you. Is it the case?
No.
Not really. Let's say this power station gives me 100 megawatt of electricity. This is basically generating 10,000 megawatts. This is generating 500 megawatts. Different configurations would be there, right? This all generated electricity need to be aggregated together, and then from there it needs to be distributed to different users depending on their need. So this electricity is fed to a system called as grid. First of all, for the aggregation. This grid basically doesn't store this electricity but has got array of different devices, transformers, using which the electricity is stabilized, and a common power factor is created. From there, it goes to something called as substations. These substations are again like mini grids. And from here, there are multiple lines that originate based on the user's requirement. This may be going for domestic. This may be going for commercial. This may be going for industrial use, right? And again, this might be going as a backup for domestic or maybe to Indian railways basically. And then it ultimately goes through different set of transformers and reaches to the end user, correct? Now, if I drop this, I just say that the lines are emerging directly from here, from the grid. And reaching the end user. This is what we have to understand. There are multiple sources from which the electricity production is happening, and there are different types of consumers. Based on their requirement, they are picking up the data source. Yes? Yes? Here, this is something we call as grid. Our event grid system is pretty much similar. And with that, you have to understand where it can be coming into picture. Any idea where you can think of, I need event grid? For that, you need to understand what are events. What are events? We have discussed that in the past. Yes? Anyone? There is one object whose state is getting changed, and there might be some object which is having a dependency on the original one, might be interested in some specific state change of the original object. And this is where the first object will raise an event that, okay, my state is being changed. The second object will have a subscription to the first object. Through that subscription, it will receive the notification that the state has changed. And then accordingly, the second object can carry out its own task, or we can say can provide some behavior in response to that state change, right? This setup is basically where we use the term called as event. The notification which gets raised is event. And the subscriber object which subscribes and handles that change event is basically called as event handler. Understood?
Yes, sir.
These sources can be different Azure events like blob added to the container or storage account. There is a message added to the queue. There is a blob updated. There is blob deleted event. There could be something like record added to the table. Different sources can be there here. Some triggering actions, right? Any Azure event can be the event, which is basically supposed to be handled by user. And there are variety of users. Randomly, one of the subscriber is going to say that, okay, I'll handle this event. There are multiple consumers and any one of them should be able to handle it. Something like topic and subscription only, but here only the data is not coming. It's the event notification which is coming in. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are potential event subscribers. Data may be there. In all cases, data may not be there as well. But event is there. There is a notification that something has happened. As a part of this notification, data may not be present. Data might be there somewhere externally. So based on the notification, you have to read the data from outside. So that is why I'm saying this is not data centric. It is notification or event centric. Do you get that? I want to detect that. And these events are going on at such a fast pace that I don't know when they will be actually processed. But I don't want to hold them for long. I don't want to hold them forever. I want, with some time out, this should be processed. Maybe I give you 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or a day or so. The event should immediately be processed, just like power generated in the grid. Whatever power generated and fed to the grid has to be consumed. If it is not consumed, it is lost. Likewise, the event also needs to be consumed as soon as possible. Okay, that's where the event grid comes in. It's basically a high-speed event ingestion platform. Any event which is getting generated, to collect it and aggregate it, we use event grid surveys where we say, okay, put all events here. And then there are subscribers. If I want this event not to get lost just because it didn't get processed in time, I can put another service in front of the grid here on this side, that is event hub. That is anyways the next feature we are going to see. Understood? If I see there is a lag between the events getting generated and the pace at which the events are getting processed. Understood? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So their event hub can be there. Otherwise, there can be direct subscribers also, which can do their job. Okay. So in this sample, what we are going to see, we are going to see the application directly consuming the events from the grid. There is no event hub in between. Once we see event hub, maybe you can combine the two samples together, where event will be generated and put into event grid first, from where event hub will receive it and queue it, and then the client application or service will basically pull in the event and process it. That will be the hybrid scenario. So in our case, the scenario here that we are going to implement is there is a storage account in which a blob is being uploaded by the user. This is the event recorded into the event grid. And then this is ultimately going to be processed by the event subscriber. Is it clear? Event subscriber in our case is going to be a simple web application, which is going to receive this notification. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir, are you sharing your screen?
Yes. Is it not visible?
No, sir.
What about others?
It is visible.
Your whiteboard is visible.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, I'll rejoin.
Yeah, there might be a lag in internet at your end, Formula. So this may be a web app or it could be a function app. That will decide in a short while. I believe function app would be a nice one because function app we have not explored much, and it's little easy also. We don't need to build any UI or anything, right? At the code level itself, we can do many of the things. So better we go with the function app. Just give me a moment. Okay, so according to the examples that I have, it seems like going with the web application will be the easy one. Function app here requires a lot of things to be set up. No worries. Let's start. So let's go to the portal. The first thing I would need is a storage account. So here I go to create resource. Storage account directly visible in get started, so I don't have any problem. I just select storage account here. How do we create storage account? I believe everyone knows. Right? This we have done before also. So select your subscription, select your resource group. Storage account name needs to be globally unique. Put some globally unique name. Let's say OI Providence Storage is the name. Region, I'll go with Southeast Asia. Performance standard is fine with me for this example. Redundancy, I'll go with LRS. Next. No changes needed over here in the advanced tab. Next.
So it's performance is standard, right?
Performance is standard.
And then LRS.
LRS. So no changes in advanced tab. No changes in networking either. No changes in data protection also. Go with the defaults. Same is the case with encryption. And then move to the tags. Okay. So mostly with the default values I'm going. And then say create. Okay, this is completed. Let's close this. By going to resource, right now I don't want to do anything directly. So let's close this. We know it's already deployed. Now just check your chat box. I've put a link there. Copy that link. Don't click it, just copy that link. And then in your browser, open a new tab and paste that link here. It's a file to some JSON. So basically, it's a template which has been created for deploying a web application. A ready-made web application will be using. When you press enter, it may ask you to do login, or if login is already detected by that tab, it will directly land you on this page. If login is asked, just do the login. You will be again on this page only. If login is detected, you will directly be on this page. So basically, this is a custom template already created and which knows which application needs to be deployed. So you can see here in the
Sir?
repo URL property, I have a get URL already mentioned here from where it is going to do the deployment.
Sir, it says there was an error downloading the template from URL.
Is it for all?
Yes, sir.
For me too, sir.
No, sir.
Can you disconnect from the VPN and then try? Those who are getting error. Global protected is, I guess, for you, right? Try disconnecting from it and then try. It's an external resource, so it may give error. Can someone confirm after disconnecting the global protect if it has worked?
It's working, sir.
That's okay.
Okay, so what I was talking about is here there is a property called as repo URL where there is a link of some GitHub integrated application. If you copy this link, just watch it on the screen, don't do that. It takes me to GitHub, and here I can see there is already a .NET application created, which is actually a .NET Core web application. .NET Core 3.1 based. So if you exactly want to see what is done within this application, what is the code within this application, you can actually browse this. Okay. Here also we have the option for deploy to Azure. This will do exactly the same thing what happened with us pasting that link into the address bar and pressing enter. So it will land here only. So ready-made application we are picking up, .NET application only, and we are looking to deploy it to a app service. So here I select my resource group and subscription, my
So
region.
just 1 minute. So like you open that template
Yes.
and then after you open that template, you chose Azure landing. What did you choose?
No, you just copy and paste that URL in the different tab over here,
Yeah, done.
and you should be on this page directly.
No, it's actually
No,
asking to
select a
the
template.
template.
Yeah,
Can you share your screen, Urmila?
yeah, 1 second.
Is it the case for all?
Yes, sir.
Is it the case for all or some of you?
Repasting the link solved it for me. Like you can paste it again, it will work.
Try doing that, Urmila.
Okay.
I guess your link is not getting copied properly. Just copy the text there.
Like, okay.
Yeah, repasting it and work for me.
I'll see just. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so if it has worked, that's okay. Point is when you copy, if it is not copied properly, you might have a different UI. Understood?
So working on this custom deployment will further also require us to disconnect from the connect now, or we should connect it right now.
You can keep it disconnected till this demo is not over.
Okay, sir.
Right, at least the deployment should go through. Once the deployment is done, if you connect, that will be okay. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Now, here, the usual things, subscription, resource group, region. Site name has to be globally unique, so probably I can say OIPROV.
Your screen.
Is it not shared yet?
No, it's not visible.
Okay, there is a lag, I guess. Afternoon time, sometimes it lags. Let me know once it is visible.
It's visible, sir.
Okay. So put all the details.
When I created my storage account, I created it in East US location. Now, when I'm doing this custom deployment here, the Southeast Asia, I'm not able to change.
Yeah, because you are doing this deployment via the template there. So if you want to change this, you have to go to edit parameters. Okay, so the location also, it's taking the location as the resource group location automatically. So if you change this and replace this with East US, it should take it.
Okay.
Replace this with East US hard coded and then save. All small, East US without space.
I can change now, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sir, it's working now.
Hosting plan needs to be given, so probably
So we need to change this location for the same.
not required actually. You can go ahead with the default thing.
Okay.
I'll say the hosting plan name is same as that of the site name, followed by dash plan, and which SKU you want to use. So we'll go with the free one, F1. Rest everything will keep as it is. And then say next. Once the validation is passed, click create.
So validation is failing for me.
Can you share the screen?
Yes, sir.
There are no instances in East US. I think we need to change the region.
Can you see the screen, sir?
Yes, I'm just going through the error message. Can you click on view error details? Server farm name must not contain empty space. Okay, so the plan name was supposed to have dash plan. You have put space plan, I guess.
Okay, sir. Sorry.
Change that and try validating again.
So for me, it shows 0 instances for your subscription. Try selecting different.
Can you share the screen, Shiva? Just a moment, let me focus.
I think we
The
need to
region.
go with the default location.
Okay, just go previous.
Can't change the location.
Did you change the location there? No.
I can't
change the location because you are not able to create the web application in Southeast Asia, right?
I'm not able to change location. So just change the
I showed that. Go to edit parameters. Here, the last thing, location. You have to remove that square bracket. Entire thing, just double quote should be pending. And put East US in small.
hyphen.
East US. Okay.
Should I put hyphen or something like, or else
No,
just
no, East US. Save. Right. So just I'm waiting now for the confirmation from everyone that the web application deployment is completed. You should be getting the screen like this. Yes? Is it completed for all?
Yes, done, sir. So I'm getting error in one of the deployments.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, just a second. I'll do it. So here.
It says conflict. That means the name you have chosen for your application is already there in place. Just change the name and redeploy. Click on redeploy. There is a button in toolbar.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Deployed?
Yeah.
Just wait for completion where it shows your deployment is complete and go to resource group button is there. Done? Everyone on the screen? Is everyone on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Click on go to resource group. Directly you are in the resource group. You should be able to see your app service plan deployed and you should be able to see your app also deployed. Yes? Click the app and you should be able to see the URL as well for the app. If you click this, it opens in another tab and shows you the default UI of this sample app created here. It's basically a Azure Event Grid Viewer app, which will be detecting the event in the event grid and displaying the detail here on this page. Understood? Right now blank because there is no subscription we have provided. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now one important thing you guys have to do, as you have not used the event grid before, by default in Azure subscription the event grid resource provider is disabled. You have to get it enabled. So go back to the portal, the main portal. Maybe you can open a different tab altogether. And go to the portal.azure.com and then just check on the left hand side if you see subscriptions directly. If not, you can go to all services and search for subscriptions here in this search box. The subscription appear here. Click on the subscriptions option. You must see your active subscription here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Click that active subscription. And in this section, look for the section called as settings. Under settings, you must have something called as resource providers. Here it is. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Select this resource providers. A long list of resource providers will be displayed here. The one that we are looking for, if we just use scroll bar and find, will be very, very difficult and time consuming. So use the search box given on the top and put event grid into it. So the list is filtered out and it shows you Microsoft.EventGrid. Showing?
Yes.
What is the status for you? It must be unregistered.
Not registered.
Unregistered or not registered, right?
Yes.
Click this option. Select it, Microsoft.EventGrid. And in the toolbar here, above the search box, you must have a button labeled as register. Click that register button and wait for some time. And after some time, the status should get changed to registered. If it is not showing up, you can click refresh button at regular intervals to check if the status has changed or not. I'll wait for a couple of minutes so that this event grid resource provider gets registered for all. Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Everybody?
Yes, sir.
As I said, if it is not showing automatically, just click on refresh. Once it is registered, the other sign is here. Instead of register button, you get re-register and unregister button. Yes? Let's close this plate and get back to where we started. So basically the home screen or the dashboard screen. Now we need to provide the subscription to the blob storage in such a way that the event of adding the blob to the blob storage is recorded by the event grid. So first of all, go to resource groups. Select your resource group, Providence RG or whatever applicable. Select your storage account that we created in step 1. On the left hand side here in this section, you must see the option called as events. Can you locate? Once you select events, this is what you get on the right hand side. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Here on the right hand side, there is some UI getting displayed. There are some tabs I see. I mean, the event subscriber can be a logic app here, Azure function, Azure Data Explorer tool, or apart from these three, if I want something else, I have another button called as more options. Can you look at this? Click on more options. It changes the UI here, the options here, which includes logic app, Azure function, everything. But then there are other options also, right? Which allow me to select the target of my choice. We want a web application to be receiving the event. For that purpose, we have to search and select this option webhook. This is like a callback that will be made from this event grid to the URL which you are going to map over here in the subsequent steps. That is what webhook does. Select webhook. You move to the screen where the page is titled as create event subscription. Make sure everyone is on the screen. Yes? Name should be given as whatever you want actually. I'll give it as demo. Make it is given in all small. Event grid. Subscription. Event schema will go as it is with the default value. Then comes the system topic name. The system topic over here is storage account because on that the event is getting raised. We just need to provide some name. We'll say demo event grade system topic, all small. Done till here. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then you have filter to event types. By default, it shows 2 selected. Let's see which 2 events it has selected. Click on this drop down. It by default says that it has got the subscription being created for blob creation event and blob deletion event. I am interested only in blob creation event. So uncheck the option for blob deleted. And then click outside in the blank area. Here it will show you only the blob created as option. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Then it is asking for the endpoint type. Let's see what options it provides. It has got Azure Function, webhook, storage queues, event hubs, hybrid connections, service bus queue, service bus topic. Where we want to send our event to? We discussed webhook, right? As there is a web application which will receive the callback. For callback, it is webhook only. Select webhook. Done. When you select endpoint type as webhook, it does ask for the endpoint. And there is an option for selecting an endpoint. Basically the callback where it will be made, I have to configure. So click on this link. There is a separate blade opening up here, right? What I'm supposed to do here is go to the other tab where my application is browsed. I need this full URL. Whether I get it from here or from here, it's one and the same thing. I can use this copy to clipboard button, or I can just click here in the address bar and copy the full URL. Paste it here and then type /API/updates. Your web application already has got a web API created within it, and where the controller name is updates. So that's what we are looking to use. Done. Whenever there is an event reported by event grid, there will be a callback to this API in your web application. Click confirm selection. And click on create to create the event subscription. So once this process is over, which you can also confirm by going to this bell icon, everything seems to be done. Just switch to your application which is running. Immediately I see one entry here. Event type Microsoft.eventgrid.subscription validation event. So just check the connectivity here for now. If I click on the eye icon, it actually shows what is that details are here. Now the next thing is I click on I again and collapse it, and then I want to actually create an event here. so that the event gets logged over here. For that, I go here in the second tab, or maybe here, anywhere I can go. Maybe this one is good, where I can see all of my resources in the resource group. I go to OI Providence Storage, the storage account that we deployed, on which all this configuration is done. Here I go to containers on the midsection, and then I try creating a new container. Let's give some name, maybe demo container, create. Let's get inside demo container and then say upload. Here on the right hand side, click this folder icon, which opens a file upload thing. Just try uploading any of the file from your local machine. Literally any file you can try uploading. Let's say the file is this.
Zip file will work.
It should. There is no problem because our application is not reading what kind of file it is or the contents of the file, right? It can be any file. Just make sure it is not too big. If it is big, it will take time to upload. Few KB file you can try uploading. Say upload. Once it is finished, it shows it up over here. You can close this and you can see the file uploaded here and switch to your application tab. Do you see? It detected that particular event. If I click this, it actually shows me what is that event actually. Not this. This is the latest one. Latest one is coming on the top. So I click this and here I do see all the details about the blob that has been uploaded. So we saw that event is generated by a blob storage, but there are multiple types of sources which can be configured over here, which will be responsible to generate the event in the event grid. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right, so you have to remember this example of power grid. There are multiple generators pushing all of their produce to the grid, and there are subscribers to the grid who are then receiving all those events. First come first serve basis, the event is provided to one application, and once it is processed, it just disappears from the grid. Do you get it? If the event is not processed within the timeout period that is applicable for the event grid, the event is lost. Event grid doesn't store any event. It's not providing any queuing mechanism or database mechanism where it can store the event data. Simply, it doesn't hold any data. It just takes in and gives out from the other end. If it is not consumed at the other end, it is lost. If there is no subscriber, it is lost. Is it clear?
So what is the subscriber here in the demo which
The
we
web
saw?
app. The web app is our subscriber. No?
Okay, sir.
So rather than web app, I would say there is a API in web app, which is the subscriber. That's what we have put in the webhook, right?
Yes, sir, the API.
And API belongs to the web app. That's why I said web app is the subscriber. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next feature is Event Hub, but next to next will be something called as Redis cache. Unfortunately, Redis cache takes lot of time to get deployed. So we will be discussing Redis cache later only, but it will be good if we get it deployed or get the deployment started for the Redis cache right now. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So let me close this tab. Let me go back to my resource group. Let me delete all these 3 resources. Let's wait for a while for these to be deleted. It's deleted. Let's close this and say create resource. This is just a prerequisite step we are doing for a topic that we will be discussing after Event Hub. Okay. So create resource. Go to database because caching is a type of a database only, and see if you have something matching with Redis. Can someone locate it for me? Is it there in this list?
Something matching with?
Redis.
Yeah, cache for Redis last second.
Yeah. So Azure Cache for Redis is there. Select this option. Subscription, you know, resource group will be Providence RG for me. This Redis cache again is an endpoint, so it has to be a globally unique name. Will be created in this subdomain .redis.cache.windows.net. Let's say this name is OI-PROV-Redis available. Location Southeast Asia. Cache type. This depends on how much data I want to cache. There are different plans available here, but again, from here I can just find out the size is the difference. Maybe some additional services like replication is there or not, and whether there is a service level agreement support or not. No SLA means no support, no service level agreement. It can go down anytime and it may take any amount of time to recover as well. It may not get recovered also if no SLA is there. But still, nothing much I understand from this. So I click on view full pricing details, and graphically I get to see what all things are there, what all differences are there. You can compare all the features along with the pricing and every single parameter that you have. Okay. For now, I'm going to select C0 basic because we just need to understand how exactly the Redis cache is used. So I'll go for C0 basic. 250 MB of storage it gives me. Say select. Say next. This is like the storage accounts, public endpoint, then virtual networks and private endpoint. So I'll go with public endpoint for now. Which version of Redis cache you want to use? Version 4, version 6. For now, the tried and tested is 4. Version 6 is recently released and yet to be stabilized. So go with the stable version. That's what is recommended and hence selected by default. Tags.
And no change in accounts, right?
No. Next. And create. Once this page comes in, which shows deployment is in progress, we can just move on. Just open another tab and keep portal.azure.com available there. Now let's talk about our actual topic to be discussed here, that is Event Hub. With Event Grid, we saw that it is just an event ingestion platform, takes in the events from multiple sources and makes it available to different destinations. It's a live convey, it doesn't store the events at all. But what if I want the events from different sources to be collected and stored for long amount of time until and unless they are not pulled in? This is event 1, this is event 2, this is event 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Until and unless they don't find the subscriber, they should get saved here. They should not be discarded. There will be again subscribers. Sub 1, sub 2, maybe sub 3 is also there, maybe sub 4 is also there. A number of subscribers may still be there. So scenario looks pretty same as Event Grid, but there is one difference. Event Grid was not storing events. Event Hub, on the other hand, stores events. So actually this is a hybrid feature available where Event Grid features added with service bus queue features gives you something called as Event Hub. Understood? Event Grid fetches the events. Service bus queue, I'll not say this is what is used behind scenes, but yeah, it uses the concept like that. One component fetches the events, the other component actually stores the event until and unless it doesn't find its destination. Once the destination says, okay, I have processed this event, it gets removed. So that is how basically the Event Hub is different from Event Grid. Do you understand this? Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now we need to see how exactly we work with it. So for that, as I said, it possesses some qualities like the service bus queue. Now from there we know that service bus queue, if required to be used, we need to create a service bus namespace, right? On the similar grounds, here we need to create something called as event hub namespace. So let's say create a resource. Integration. Check if you have event bus namespace option over here or anything that matches with event hub. I don't see anything. So maybe I use this search box. And there I search for event hubs. I get it. Event hubs. Got it? Once you select event hubs from that list, this is the screen we should be on. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Click create. So the page titled as create namespace comes in for the event hub, right? Select the subscription, select the resource group correctly. Then it is asking for namespace name, which has to be again globally unique. I'll name this as OI-PROV-demo event hub NS for namespace. See the domain in which it will be created as subdomain, servicebus.windows.net. By looking at this, I can be sure that it must be using service bus queue somewhere to store the event data. Yes? Behind scenes, this namespace must be creating a service bus namespace only. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Location. For me, it is going to be Southeast Asia. Pricing tier, how much I'm going to pay. So just like service bus, we have the options. Premium, standard, and basic. But now I'll stick to basic, which is 11 US dollar per transaction unit per month. If you want to see the details, you can click on this link. Browse the available plans and their features. I can have 40 throughput units for basic tier. If I increase the pricing tier, I mean upgrade, then the throughput units available will also be increased. That throughput unit decides how much data I can actually be processing from one event hub namespace. So if I increase this number, that means there will be parallel instances of the event hub namespace, which can accommodate more and more amount of events. But now I'm just keeping it to the default one because we are not going to create too many events. So next, remember that setting can be changed at a later time also post deployment. Connectivity method is public access. Next, provide the tags created by, created for. Next. And once the validation is succeeded, click on create. Let's wait for this deployment to finish. This event hub is not defined by Microsoft to support only Microsoft sources to generate the event, but it has got the implementation in such a way that the third party event generators can also be sending the messages to it. I mean the events to it, like Apache Kafka. So that's a product from open source, which also is capable of creating events. And this event hub supports the events generated by Apache Kafka as well. So once you get the deployment completed message and click on go to resource, this is where you should land up. Looks pretty much familiar, right? We saw something similar on service bus as well. I told you there is a lot of similarity here. Just one main difference is this is event based execution. Service bus queues are data based execution, message based. Understood? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Everyone on the screen? Is everyone on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Once you are here, you can see there is shared access policies on the left hand side, just like we had for the service bus, right? Click this. Again, you have that same access policies. Here also we can create access policies for read only, write only behavior and provide the keys and connection strings accordingly. To keep the thing simple, right now I'm going to use this root manage shared access key only, which is admin, means it can do everything. Let's click on this. Once the connection string is displayed, click on the copy to clipboard button for any of the two connection strings and get it pasted in Notepad. We will need this from within our application to be able to connect. Am I right? Then go back to overview and click on add event hub. Give the name. As OI event hub, all small. Rest of the things I'm going to keep default. Create. It says it is successfully created. Right. I can actually go here. Under entities, I have event hub where I can see the event hub. If I click on this, I get to see the details about how many messages are there, how many requests are there, and so on. Just like for service bus queues, we got this dashboard. Now there is a partitioning enabled. By default, it uses minimum partition count of 2. And related to this partitioning, it creates some logical entity called as consumer group. So if you see here, it has by default created a consumer group for me by the name default, $default. With this, I can actually decide which data is for me and read it at the client end. So within my request from the client, I need to specify which consumer group I want to read the data from. And within that consumer group, which partition I want to read the data from. That has to go as an input in my request. Clear? Yes?
Sir, I got just lost. Can you tell me what have you done after copying the connection string?
Go back to overview and click on plus event hub.
Okay.
Give the name as OI event hub in all small. And click create. Done?
Yes, sir, done, sir.
Once it is created, here you can come back to the event hub dashboard, and here under entities you have the option for event hubs. Select that. You should see your new created event hub here.
Yes, sir.
Click that and keep this page open.
Okay, sir, thanks.
Okay, now time for some .NET stuff. So let's go and open Visual Studio, take a new project there. Well, once again start with blank solution. So search for blank solution, just like what we did for service bus things. Search for blank solution and select blank solution. Got it?
Yes, sir.
The next. Name the solution as AZ underscore demo event hubs. Make sure that location is correct. So create. It's a blank solution. You will get only this much, right?
Yes, sir.
Here we need to create of first application which will be producing the events. So right click on the solution and say add new project. Everyone on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Select console application, the multi-platform one. Next. Name this as event producer. Next, target version is .NET 5. Create. Done?
Yes.
Go to Package Manager console and use the install package command to install a package named as azure.messaging.eventhouse. Okay, you have to press enter to run this. Install. This was the done.
Yes, sir.
Import the system.text encoding thing we are going to use, which comes from this. Then the usual thing, system.threading.task for async programming. Then a namespace with the name of the package. So azure.messaging.eventhubs. And then one more, azure.messaging.eventhubs.producer. Total 4 namespaces we have added. Okay. Done.
Yes, sir.
Now go to Notepad, copy this connection string. You know what we are going to do. We are going to put it in the environment variable, right? How do we do that? Right click on the project, properties, debug, under environment variable say add, key is CS, value is the connection string, save and close. Regular things. Then here we will say private static string CS equals to environment dot get environment variable. Yes. One more time, private static string event hub name. What is the event hub name that we have provided on the portal? OI event hub. Then we have private const int of events. Again, as a batch, I'm going to create a batch of events. Let's say 3 events. Not too many this time. Then I say there is private static event hub producer client. Named as producer client. And then convert your main from void to async task. Remove console.write. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now check your chat box. I've put some code there. Copy that code and paste that in main. Few changes will be required. We'll do that. Here I am instantiating the producer client, which is of type event hub producer client. I need to give the connection string name and the event hub name there. Our variable is CS and event hub name like this. So the errors over here are resolved. Then I say using event data batch. Again, this time instead of messages, I'm sending event data. I'm creating a batch of event data. Event batch equals to producer client dot create batch async, and then the scope is here, so that once this scope is over, this event batch object will be automatically deleted. Iterate for I is equals to 1 to I less than equal to number of events I plus plus. This is exactly same mechanism. Event batch dot try add. Why try add? I don't want any error. Even if there is some failure, I just want to continue with the next step. Okay. So here I'm preparing the event data. Event data carries my data. So here I say event data actually requires data in the form of binary format as byte array, or maybe as binary data class object or something. So for that, I'm saying I have string which I'm converting to bytes with the help of encoding.utf8.getBytes. If not successful, I am throwing exception. Then further, I want this batch to be dispatched. So here I say producer client.send async event batch, and a message on console, a batch of number of events event has been produced. Events. If exception, catch it, show it on console. Otherwise, just go and dispose the producer client object. Done with changes.
Yes, sir. Can you repeat what all changes you made?
Change number 1 is here.
Yes, done.
Next error must be here, right?
Yeah.
So just change it to match with our constant name.
Yes, sir, done.
Next error must be here.
Yes. So we need to make error changes only.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Let's start. It says a batch of 3 events has been produced. Press any key to come out. Where to see that? Must be on portal, right? I just say refresh here. Do you see some spikes in this? Yes? There have been some requests. Incoming messages not displayed yet. Sometimes the dashboard takes a while to update. It should show 3 messages here as well. So try refreshing several times. It's taking time. So instead of waiting, what we will do is we will actually go and write a client which will try to read these events and process them. Understood? Let's get back to the Visual Studio. right click on solution, make sure your program is not running, then right click on solution, add new project. Console application, again multi-platform. Next, we'll name this as event consumer. Next, .NET 5, create. First thing you should do is right click this project and select set as startup project so that the name appears bold. Right click, set as startup project. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Go to package manager console. Select the default project as event consumer and install the package in this new project also. Same package, azure.messaging.event hubs, which you should get by using the up arrow key. Done?
Yes, sir.
Just one moment. I think I'm missing something. Give me a second. Okay. So there is one prerequisite over here that we need to carry out before we proceed with the client application. Let's get to the browser. In another tab, open portal.azure.com. The events may take long time to run, and that's where basically the event need to be stored in some persistent storage. They cannot be kept in memory for long. For that, basically, we need some tracking system also. Right. So for storing the events, the service bus is helping. But storing the checkpoint data, for that we need to provide something, and that we gave with the help of the storage account. So go to the portal and create a new storage account. Say create resource, storage account. Select your subscription and resource group correctly. storage account name, location, performance standard, locally redundant storage LRS, minimal configuration. Next, no changes here in advanced, no changes here in networking, no changes in data protection, no changes in encryption. Just give the tags. Next. Create.
So we have to create LRS with LRS only, no?
Yes. So for learning and practice, it will be always LRS, even for development. Testing and live usage will require you to go for ZRS or GRS or GZRS. Understood?
Yes.
And this can be upgraded anytime after deployment also. So this is done. Just go to resource and click on access keys, show keys. Just keep this visible. This time I'm not going to copy the connection string in Notepad. I'll take it directly from here. Okay? Just keep this open. Go back to Visual Studio. Import certain namespaces here. We have encoded some data, so we have to decode it back. So we'll need system.text. Async support, we will require system.threading.tasks. Then I'm going to need Azure.messaging.event hubs. Event hubs.processor this time, not producer. And Azure.messaging event hubs consumer also I need. Consumer will consume the event, processor will process the event. Two different features split into two different namespaces. Change the main signature to make it look like async task main. Remove console write line and then copy first couple of lines from your previous program.cs. This will be for event hub namespace. I'm going to need something similar once again for storage connection string also. Maybe I copy this line and paste it here. And here I say this is storage CS. By same name, I look for an environment variable storage CS. And then the container name also need to be specified. So here we say private const string I'll make it static. Oops. String block container name equal to demo container. So there are few things now I need to do before I proceed with the actual code. First, I need this environment variable to be created. So I go to Solution Explorer, right click on Event Consumer Project, and then go to Properties, Debug, Environment Variables, Add, CS. This is the Event Hub connection string. I copy and paste it here. And I say add one more, which I say is going to be called a storage CS, and the value for it is going to be taken from here. The blob connection string. Now I copy and directly paste here. Understood what I did? Understood what I did? Close. Get back to portal. Here I go to overview, rather containers, and here I click add container and get a container created by the name demo container. This is the same name which I have used in my code. Say create. We do have this container, and then back into the code.
So if I had to check my container name, where do I check?
This is the name. This is what we have given on here under
Okay,
container.
this name. Okay, okay. I thought the previous container. Okay, okay.
There goes another private static member which is of type blob container client. Visible, right? So there is one more namespace we will need using azure.storage.blobs. Even that is not there. So what does that mean? I need one more package to be installed. Go to package manager console, say install package. Make sure it is the event consumer project selected here. Then say install package azure.storage.blobs. So once this package is installed, the namespace will be resolved here. Blob container client also is resolved here. Say this is named as storage client. Followed by private static vent processor client. Name processor is taken here, so this should be resolved. Actually looks like there is another package we might need to install. Most likely it must be with this name. So let's copy this name and go to package manager console. In event consumer project, I say install package azure.messaging.eventhubs.processor. There might be some of the features which are not there in the default namespace. So once I put that in place, the issue is resolved. Okay. So make sure till here there is no error. There is no compiler error except this green line. Yes.
Once the package name, what you have installed.
This is the package. Line number 5. Same as the namespace name. So 3 packages in the current project we have installed. One was azure.messaging.event-hubs. Second was azure.storage.blobs. And third one that I just added is this azure.messaging.event-hubs.processor. Done?
Yes.
Now check your chat box. I have put 2 methods over there which you can paste just before the main. One is process error async. One is process event async, just like service bus things. Process error async, just catching the error on which partition the error has occurred, showing that partition ID and followed by the message of the error, returning completed task. Process event async, on the other hand, reads the event data, decodes it back into string from bytes, and displays it on the console. Received event and then the actual event data. And then we say update checkpoint async, which says that, okay, this event has been processed. Every successful execution will be recorded. And for that, we need this blob storage. As a blob, the checkpoint data will be added. Understood? The 2 methods? Yes? Yes? Check the chat box again. Put some code which you have to paste inside the main. Defining a string consumer group. I'm saying default consumer group name should be automatically read. It is $default, which will be assigned to this. But suppose if it is changed on the portal, I should not be forced to change the code. That's why I'm dynamically obtaining it. Then I say storage client equals to new blob container client. My storage CS should be like this. And blob container name. It's blob container name only, but in a different case. Then I initialize processor, new event processor client. The constructor takes in storage client first, followed by consumer group, followed by the connection string for the event hub, followed by the event hub name. That's the case correction, and it all works. Handling the events, process event async bound to this method, process event async, and process error async event bound to this handler, process error async. Start processing, then waiting for some time, and then stop processing. Instead of this, I can also put console.read key, just like what we did in service bus. Right, so just make sure event consumer is your startup project. If not done, right click it now and say set as startup project and then say start. Meanwhile, here I do see it's updated, 3 messages it is showing. My client is starting up. Here are the events received in sequence only. After 30 seconds, it will automatically be finished. Here, if I say refresh, this has to become 0. Again, this may take time to update, but ideally, the messages have been removed from here, so this will become 0 eventually. After some time, it will show you 0. Right?
Sir, it's showing error in my case, like on storage client. Can I share my screen?
Guys, am I audible? There was a disconnection.
Yeah, now you're audible.
Yeah, so this is completed here. And what I was talking about is this should become 0 in some time. There is a lag in this dashboard. Pretty soon it will be fixed by Microsoft. They are trying to make it real time. Okay. For now, we have to take it how it is. We cannot do anything from our end. Right? It's their product. They have to update it. Understood?
Sir, actually, I was saying there was some error in my code, if you can check.
The client code.
Yes, sir.
Is it throwing exception of while running, or is it the compiler error?
A storage client, it's showing error.
Storage client. Okay. So
Can I just
here.
check? It's saying
This name and this name must match.
yeah, it's matching.
What is the error? Can you read it out?
Yeah. The name storage client doesn't exist in the current context.
Do you have this line
Which one?
selected?
Yes, I have this.
Okay, share your screen. There must be either the spelling mistake or the case mistake. You don't have storage client defined on the top. Storage CS you have.
Okay.
Blob container client. Okay, see line number 19. See the spelling there. Storage clients you have put.
Okay.
Make it storage client. Because that's what you are using, right?
Yes, and event hub name also showing some
It
error.
says it's not used, right? So see where the event hub is used next. If you scroll down, in main you are using it. It's just one time you are using it, right?
Yeah.
Line number 41, it's there. What is the other green line that is showing?
So errors are gone, only warnings are there.
Yeah, still, just go to the top. There was another warning. One was on event hub name. The other one is blob container name, right?
Yes.
Okay. Scroll down. Go to the main method. Blob container name also is being used. So just go to debug and say, go to build and say build solution.
Yeah. Thank you.
Warnings will also be removed.
Yes.
So I hope this has worked for all. Yes. Let's go ahead and clean up the resources. So I go to the portal, resource groups,
Sir,
Providence
it's again
RG.
showing some error. Application is in break mode.
Share your screen again. Okay, just wait. So let me do the cleanup first and then I'll look into your stuff. So looks like some maintenance going on. There was a disconnection once again for a while. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so the topic I'm going to delete from event grid. The event hub namespace I'm going to delete and the storage also I'm going to delete. Redis I'll need. Yes, delete. It will get deleted. So Nitika, now you can share your screen.
Yes. So is it visible?
Yes, it is.
The previous application was
One or
also
more errors occurred. Okay, on the portal you probably didn't create the container in storage account. Go to portal, stop the program first. Go to portal. Go to the storage account, containers. Left hand side containers. Add container. Demo container. Create. Now run the program. Worked?
yes. Thank you.
Okay, so errors are not always because of something wrong in the code. Errors might be because of some dependent resources also, right? So 95% cases, it will be like if you read the error message clearly and properly, you will get the solution in that error message itself. That's what I do, right?
Yes.
So that's a tip for all of you. Okay. So just do a cleanup of everything except that Redis service. Let me go to previous tab and see if the Redis deployment is completed. Yes, it is. Just say go to resource. Here also we do have access keys. Go to access keys and copy the connection string. Put it into Notepad. Right? It should be on the overview tab. So once this much is done, you can focus on the screen. Here we are going to talk about something named as Azure Redis Cache Service. Redis is actually the provider for this service. Azure has just allowed Redis to host their service on Azure, and they are marketing Redis service on behalf of Redis itself through their portal. What is important here is what it is. And to understand that, first we need to understand what is cache, why and where it is required. Can anybody tell me what is cache? Something to do with cache memory, right? Maybe somewhat related to this. So if you can understand what is cache memory, probably you can understand what is cache. Anyone?
Cache is a primary memory which is faster than RAM, and also it is expensive.
Okay, but what is the requirement of it? Is it just because it is faster? And what function does it play?
So the resources and the documents that are used frequently are stored in the local machine so that it can be retrieved more easily when once used again.
Yeah, almost there. I give you one example here. You guys just passed out of the colleges, right?
Yes, sir.
Final year scores must be there. On an average, let's say 150 people appeared for the exam and cleared the exam. So the final scores of 150 people are there within your college. Okay. I am the person who is having the details with me. Right? I got the soft copies of the mark sheets, or I would say the mark list. Hard copy will come at a later time. Each person out of those 150 people is coming to me and asking for their marks. Detailed marks, not the aggregate. Each subject wise, complete breakup they are asking. Okay. Should I every time go and check the soft copy for that particular person to find the details? Or if you think it will be better if I make an Excel sheet and within which I put all the details, and whenever one comes and I just do a quick search and give them the details. What will be the good idea? Even better will be I take the print of that Excel sheet and put it on notice board so that no one comes to me. What is good idea? It's simple to answer. I retrieve the data once and I put it in my own format Whoever is asking me, I just take that format and share the details. That will be faster, right? More efficient. My efforts and time will also be saved. One-time efforts will be there to retrieve the details of 150 people, but it will be just one time, not 150 times. Yes or no? Yes or no? So can I call this Excel sheet as the cached version of the data? I don't need to connect to the server because usually the servers are pretty slow, right? When the results are declared. Every time connecting and downloading the data takes a lot of time. Instead, I just connect once and download. I see all the details and probably I put it in some Excel sheet. Instead of connecting to server, I just need to see the Excel sheet then. That's fast. Right? That's the overall concept. But what kind of data can be cached this way? Do you have any idea? We do have static data, which doesn't change at all. We do have dynamic data, which changes, but not so frequent. So I can say not so frequently changed dynamic data. And then I have another category of data, that is frequently changed dynamic data. Out of these three categories, which item is the one which is considered to be the candidate for getting cached? This is item 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Tell me 1, 2, or 3, or any combination. Let's make it this way. A is only 1, B is only 2, C is only 3, D is 1 and 2, E is 1 and 3, F is 2 and 3, G is 1, 2, and 3. Now it's easy to answer. You can tell me A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. Only one answer here. I repeat my question here. Which of the three categories you think is the I'm sorry. Which of the three categories that you think is the right candidate for getting cached?
Static data, I think.
Quickly raise your hands who agree with Tushar.
So static data and not so frequently change dynamic data.
I believe second option is the correct one. So that means this is what the correct answer is, right? Data which is not being changed or not so frequently being changed. Why should I retrieve it every time from the server? Can't I retrieve it once and keep it at my end? Or maybe some intermediate server like web server or something, which just keeps on serving the data. I don't need to make a round trip to the database server at all once the data is retrieved for the first time. Make sense? Even if data server becomes unavailable, still I will be able to serve the data to my clients that way. Yes or no?
Yeah.
That's where this Redis cache comes in. It's not something which caches the data on client. It's something which caches the data on your cloud. And if your application is also running on the cloud, in the same cloud service provider, so most likely they would be nearby. If the location is the same, region is the same, it is quite likely that they might be running on same hardware. Even if not same hardware, they will be in the same data center at least. So the access to each other will be very fast compared to talking to a database. It's quite likely that your database might belong to a different region. So round trip will be costly. Understand? Understand? So Redis cache helps there, and it's a distributed cache. What it means? It doesn't store data in one single storage device. It actually stores in the device physically, so that even if there is some downtime for the server on which the or the memory of that server was being used to store the cache in memory, that becomes unavailable, still your data is safe. Maybe there will be a lag of some time, but it will be safe. And then if you enable the geo replication and all, probably even that lag will not be there, as it will get served from the other server. Make sense?
Yes.
That is why it is called as redistributed cache. And that's what the name the company acquired, which actually invented the concept of redistributable cache. They named themselves as Redis. Understood? It's all about deploying and using the Redis cache feature now. Deployment we have already seen earlier, right? And we have the deployed resource already here. Correct? We already got the connection string details from here. If you go to data persistence, this is something which can be deciding how the data will be actually persisted on the physical device. But that doesn't come with C0 basic. It comes with the premium pricing tier. You can select which server will hold it. And for that, if you want to upgrade, you can go to scale and change your pricing tier anytime. Understood? Geo replication also can be set up with premium pricing tier for better reliability. Understood? Now, let's see how do we access it. So here, go to Visual Studio and say File, New Project. C# all platforms console, console application, multi-platform. Select next. Name this as AZ underscore demo Redis. Set your location right. Next, it's .NET 5 platform we are going to use. Create. Done. Yes, ready with the application? Go to Package Manager console and add a couple of packages there. One mainly is for the Redis cache. There are multiple NuGet packages from multiple providers. The most popular one is from Stack Exchange. I'll use that. Install package Stack Exchange dot Redis. Press enter. It's this package. Done. Yes.
Yes.
Go to Notepad, copy the connection string from here, and go to Solution Explorer, right click on project, select properties, debug, add under environment variables, change the key name to CS, value to the connection string that we copied, save, close. Similar thing what we have been doing so far for many of our examples. Here I say system.io is imported and followed by stack exchange dot redis. Remove console.writeline and here I say string cs equals to environment dot get environment variable cs. Console.writeline an interpolated string. Okay. The static text connecting to is displayed. Along with the connection string. And I say var connection. So Redis con equals to connection multiplexer provided by stack exchange.redis namespace, which provides me a static method called as connect. I can go for async version as well. What parameter it takes in is the configuration in the form of string. So I can just pass CS to it. This is async method, so I have to await it. And if I'm looking to use await, I need to say using system.threading.tasks, which allow me to change my main method definition to static async task main instead of static void main. Okay. Then I want the cache object to be created. So here I say var cache equals to rediscon object gives me a method called as get database. This returns me a cache object. Understood? Of this, I can write some data to the cache. So I can easily say cache dot. If the data is of string type, I can just say string set. Even if it is some object, I can convert it to JSON string with newtonsoft.json namespace, and then using string set itself, I can add it to the cache. String set. We have string set async, so why not use that? Which can be awaited because this can take a lot of time, which can cause blocking actions. What it is asking for as input? Simply the key and the value. Optionally, I can specify the expiry. If I want, every 10 minutes it should expire so that the fresh cache can be generated. I can put the third parameter time span. For now, I don't want that. I want the cache to be permanent. Okay. There is a key called as data, which will identify my actual data. Let's say it is hello. It is. Inform the user data written to the cache. And start. It says connecting to so and so Redis, and then it says data written to the cache. Great. Now I want to retrieve it back.
Sir,
Yes.
for me, it's showing an error in line number 14, sir, like connection multiplexer dot.
This one?
That one. Yes, sir.
Connect async with await. Probably the error is on this, right? You just read the message.
Yes, sir.
It must
Yes,
be
sir.
saying cannot use await without async, right?
Yes, sir.
Just this is your correction.
Yes,
Instead
sir.
of white. Okay, so now I want to retrieve the data back. Right? Comment this out. My application is already stopped, so practically there is no data anymore anywhere. Still, if I am able to retrieve, that means it is basically going to be retrieved from the cache, which is on cloud, not my machine. Say string data is equals to cache object provides me string get method. There must be async version as well, where I just need to pass the key, which was data. It's an async version, so here I say await. Once it is completed, console write line works. Here I say show the interpolated string. The cached data is, I start it again. This time I'm not writing any data to the cache. It's the previously written data to the cache which is returned. See? Across application restarts also I'm able to read it. Until and unless I don't delete the entry myself, or if I don't delete the Redis deployment myself, this data will keep on coming. As I've not given any expiry, it is infinite available. Understood? Interesting? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So things are easy. See, this course was not complete deep dive as we discussed on day one as well, right? This course was more of getting awareness of what all features are there, getting some hands-on on it, getting the idea what all things are possible to be used in different scenarios, and then with little bit more research you can actually become more expert in each of those features. So now it is up to you to utilize this information and use these demos to understand the things in detail. And as per the tasks that are allotted to you going forward, you have to actually find out more complex implementations and get them implemented into your scenarios. Understood? Understood? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is it for the overall training now. Just one last formality here. Where I'm sharing a link with you guys for the feedback for the entire session, 2-week session. Hardly 2 to 3 minutes will be required. Please take your time and fill the same. I have pasted the link in the chat box. Just check if it is accessible. Meanwhile, here I'll just get all the stuff cleaned up. We can delete the resource group Providence RG itself. So I go to resource groups. I select the resource group Providence RG and say delete resource group. Delete. Is the feedback link accessible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you are looking for any input on anything not related to this training only, but any other topic, any other subject that you want to get trained on, you can just put that in the relevant fields, right? Because my team, my backend team actually is in continuous touch with the L&D team at Providence, Prabjot and Nupur. So the program can be planned accordingly. Even if you feel that this program was fast or slow, you can put that. The feedback will help us model the entire program in more better way for the upcoming batches. So I hope everyone enjoyed the program overall.
Yes, sir.
I'm putting my contact details in the chat as well. First, my mail ID. If you need any support in future, you can always reach out to me on mail. You can WhatsApp me on this number. You can call me also probably on weekends or maybe during off office hours. As in the office hours, I might be engaged in another training assignment, so I may not be able to pick the call. So if anything urgent, you can just drop a message on WhatsApp. I'll get back to you. Make sense?
Yeah.
Hopefully the market is opening up, the things are starting up, so we'll meet soon in your office also. I've been to your office in November actually. 2 trainings are delivered back to back there. But after that, again, the lockdown situation came in. The cases were increasing. I myself got infected as well with corona. So travel was completely stalled, but now everything seems to be starting up again. So hopefully we'll meet soon. Next month, another training is actually scheduled there. Little more advanced one, more detailed one. Okay, so I hope everyone has put the feedback. Just raise hands. Who all are done with the feedback?
Sir, about the previous subscription of mine, I don't have to do anything about it, right? Because there are a lot of resources which are not deleted yet.
With the Azure Pass only, right?
Yeah, the
No,
previous.
you don't need to do anything. It will automatically be deleted.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
See, if it's a paid subscription, we need to worry. But if it is a sponsorship subscription or free trial, we don't need to worry at all.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I can see just 8 hands raised till now. Nine now. It's 10. 11. Okay. 14 now. So what is the schedule from tomorrow?
Plus, Saket.
Yeah.
I submitted the feedback form. I have some work to do. Like, can I leave?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So I was asking, what is the schedule for you guys from tomorrow onwards?
9 to 5.
No, but anything planned, or is it going to be like office?
It's already planned. It's already planned. We have some other training sections.
Okay, so internal training, some project trainings, right?
Yeah, something related to that.
Okay, most likely your managers, someone from their side must be taking, managers or seniors, right?
Yes.
Okay. So will it be in office or virtual only?
No, it's virtual only.
Okay. So this week I am free actually till weekend, in fact. So if you need any support while doing any practice, you can always get back to me. I'm available whole day. Just ping me on WhatsApp and I'll get back to you. Okay?
Sure, sir. Thanks.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
So
sir.
I can still see just 15, 16 people Raising the hands. What about others? Siddharth. Okay, you raised it. Bhavya, Sai Ramanan. Shreya, Ayushi, Urmila, and Hindvi.
Sir?
Yes?
Sir, if you want to take up any Azure certification, the training we have undergone till now, will that help us, sir, for some certifications like Azure Fundamentals?
Yes, actually, just that you need to practice more. And there are few things which are not covered in this program because, as I said, this was not detailed one or certification oriented one. But yeah, AZ 900 and 204, it covers a lot about it. So almost 80% things have been covered here. With more practice, you can definitely appear for certifications. AZ 900 and AZ 204.
Okay, sir.
900 is basics one, more theoretical one. 204 is more detailed and more practical oriented.
Okay, sir.
So if you want to appear, the sequence would be first go for AZ 900 and then go for 204.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and there is a certificate oriented course also from Udemy. If you want, you can just drop me a message on WhatsApp. I'll share the link for the same. And hardly 300, 400 bucks I saw last time. You can check the latest price. You can actually go through that course, do all the demos, and you should be good to appear for the certification.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That will revise everything what we learned in addition to whatever the topics which are left out. Right.
Okay,
And it will be more deep dive because it is already a certification oriented course.
Okay, sir.
And on the top of that, before appearing for the certification, for the final practice, if you need any support, you can get back to me.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, then. So that is it from my side. Thank you for attending the session for the whole 2 weeks. In fact, close to 3 weeks, I would say. We started mid of the week. So technically, it is third week now. And wish you good luck for your future. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.